The world's best Arctic fighter, and no media has ever been allowed in, not until now.
Norway's elite reconnaissance unit. Sounds cold. Let's go.
Okay, Magnus, welcome to Norwegian Military Intelligence Battalion. Today you are going to visit the long-range reconnaissance squadron, the LRRPs, and do a mission with them.
A climbing mission?
So take a look at Magnus's channel. This man's a climber, so you got to have like crazy gorilla strength to do that. Think about long-range recon in Norway. High up on the globe, right? Close to the Arctic. Recon's not going to be in a jungle, so it's going to be terribly cold and treacherous.
I've heard.
A climbing mission, a bit different from what you are normally doing, and I guess when we get you geared up, it will be odds even. Your patrol has been tasked to support the rescuing of a downed pilot behind enemy lines. The pilot, his last known position is in the area of Eastindan, here.
So the mission is to...
So you heard gnome, right? That may ring a bell for us Americans. Something to do with like where Santa Claus is at. So it's going to be cold, no way about it. High altitudes. So you got to deal with the cold, the high altitudes. If you're not used to it, let's say you're from Florida, used to sea level. Now you're humping up these mountains. I don't know the elevation change, but this is not going to be your normal YouTube bullshit. This is going to be legit, so I appreciate this guy's channel. One of you guys turned me on to it.
Rescue the pilot, who should be somewhere in the area of East Tind. We'll be transported into enemy's territory by car, where we get dropped off and have to make our way up the mountain as quickly as possible, and unnoticed by the enemy. As soon as we have the pilot, we'll call for a helicopter to come fly us out.
Questions?
So you notice the key thing on the terrain, the topo map, right? There's forests down below. Once you get to a certain altitude, and I don't know what that is, you guys clue me in, I think it's maybe around 8,000 or 9,000 feet. The trees aren't there anymore, right? So now you're wide open. There is no cover. So you're just hanging out there, balls to the wall, everybody can see you.
Like look around, do we need to be ready to, because now we're behind enemy lines.
Yeah, we just got a SIT update from our base. They have intelligence that says that there are enemy forces moving towards our position, and they're probably looking for the pilot as well.
And we also have to be quick.
Try to stay in the low terrain unless we have like concealment in the fog and stuff like that. And as you can see around us now, the fog is coming in, so that's good for us.
Who would think fog would be good, right? So you heard the man, stay in the low terrain so you can have some trees, some concealment. Because once you get up above that certain altitude where the trees don't grow, again, you're just hanging it out there. So you got to be in some spectacular shape. You're humping 100+ pounds of gear, cold weather shit on. Can't get too sweaty, otherwise you'll get hypothermia. The cold weather is a unique beast in itself. Question for you guys. Would you prefer cold or jungle if you had your druthers?
These guys have like a crazy high pace, and I've been told that I should look for enemies to the left. So the guy in the front, he's looking straight ahead. I'm looking to the left. The guy behind me is looking to the right. Backpacks are around 35 kilos, so that's about half my body weight. And I don't know how I'm going to climb with that, and also with boots.
For some reason, the guys like him, strong, wiry types, well, he's pretty muscled up, tend to do well. The big hulking guys just don't seem to hump the weight as good, so he may have an advantage because he is thinner, lighter on his feet than, say, average Joe Ham and Egger who's 6'2", 240.
I've done a lot of hard shit lately, but this is hard in just a different way. Just never ending. We've been hiking for hours. We thought we're at the top, and we're just halfway. So the last few hours we've just been hiking, but it's super hot right now. Running low on water, but now it looks like we're gonna climb the ridge finally. And I've kind of stopped looking for enemies, to be honest. I just feel like if there are any enemies in the area, they're gonna deal with it. So.
At least the man's honest, right? You just heard him say it's super hot. You see snow and you go, how could it be hot? He's got the sun beating down for a short period of time. Guess something depends on the time of year, right? And he's in camis, and he's got to put this Kyvex type camo on, the white, when he gets where the snow's at. You could see hypothermia setting in quick. You get sweaty, then you get cold. You got to know what the hell you're doing up there.
I think this is, right now it feels like my batteries are really low, and I know that the mission has just started, so I'm a little bit worried. I saw you got like an update on the...
As of now, the entire Operation Meatballs, bugs and stuff, but also from being spotted by the enemy.
What happens if we get like shot at during our climb? Do we, what is it called? Return fire? Or
yeah, we will shoot back.
Shoot back, okay. Yeah. Because we're...
You know, this guy obviously is a Norwegian Recon guy. He's like, yeah, we shoot back. You know, it's interesting because it's hard enough to do that, right? Climb up these high altitudes, gear on your back. And all of a sudden you got to keep your wits about you without getting altitude sickness. This man climbs, so he's probably used to it. But a lot of people just can't take that altitude when you get above, 10 or 11,000 feet. All of a sudden your brain gets wonky.
Pretty vulnerable on that ridge.
It's going to be a shitstorm if we get in contact on the ridge.
Yeah.
We've divided like one full rack with all the pros, so the nuts and the cams. We're gonna go as a 3. Yeah.
Is it a climbing helmet?
So it's we have another helmet, kind of similar, which is made for ballistics.
Okay.
So it's really heavy.
Yeah.
But this one is a more lightweight one.
Yeah.
The first person goes in front with all the protection, and then you as the second person will take it out.
Yeah.
And then...
So we're not belaying each other. I think it's going to be new to a lot of people watching this type of style. So basically, if one of you fall, I have to go low, right?
Yeah, and make sure if we fall on one side, that kind of
you basically have to fall on the other side.
Yeah, can't be daydreaming about what's going on social media, dicking around, right? You know, if you're from the U.S., say you went to ranger school, you do climbing in northern Georgia, you know, it's tough, but the altitude's not as high. That's where you switch things up a little bit. Now all of a sudden, you're not as in good a shape as you thought you were. You're tired, all this damn gear.
You'll see afterwards, like, maybe not using this kind of pros, but just using natural, just rocks, whatever you have, trees, and just put the rope in between.
Yeah. Also the harness is camo. That was pretty cool. I've never seen that before. And we're gonna climb with the backpacks, so that's what's gonna make it really challenging. I mean, this route isn't gonna be that hard in itself. We're trying to go quick, and we're trying not to be noticed, you know. So, I mean, it's a different way of moving. When we get down there, we call for the helicopter. How long does that usually take for the helicopter to come?
Since there's a lot of enemy in the area, then it's a bigger operation, so they need more.
So think about it for a second. We've got basically friends to the north and the south, right? Canada and Mexico. We got water all around us. Norway, Sweden, Finland. They've got the Russians right there at their doorstep. So these guys got to be a little bit more prepared. Historically, the Russians have been an adversary to the Nordic countries. So that's somewhat the mission set, I suspect, here.
Planes to kind of suppress the enemy
Okay.
before they can bring in a helicopter, which is an easier target.
Yeah, so they first have to suppress the enemy's Air Force. And then they can come in and save us.
Yeah. No,
and what do we do if we don't get a helicopter?
It wouldn't be the first time it happens. So you always plan for an emergency plans. So you always have kind of escape routes and different kinds of pickups.
Yeah. But the pilot is, I mean, he's worth more than us, right? Because he's...
Yeah, so the education they get and the yeah, they're jet fighter pilots. So
it's a very cynical way of looking at it.
Yeah.
But
Well, the intel pilots have, right? They know missions. They know stuff that the guy on the ground generally doesn't know. So pilots are always key. So this mission, as we saw in the beginning, is get a down pilot. And we saw what happened on Extortion, I think it's 33. We went to get the SEALs that were down, send some people in, trying to get them out. And it was in a mountainous area just like this. So you can have somebody very easily on the side of a mountain with an RPG and do a lot of damage. Not an easy terrain as we found in Afghanistan.
that's how it is.
They're
Yeah.
kind of pushing the 5 of us to help get him out.
Yeah.
And that's our mission, so we just have to make it
Follow
work.
the mission.
Follow the mission.
So you guys sore at all?
I don't think my legs know what they've been up to yet, so
Okay.
maybe I'll feel it later, but
Yeah. Well, you were leading the way the whole way. Pretty high pace.
I thought you did good.
When you're used to doing this kind of stuff, I suspect you get into good shape. But as he said in the beginning, these are the elite guys, so you already have them trained in Nordic conditions. Now you select them from this. I'm sure it's a long pipeline to get selected, then make it through it. And the training, saw in the beginning, 43 days, unknown duration mission, unknown conditions, enemy, have to sustain yourself in an Arctic environment. If you're not from there, there's a lot of moving parts to figure out. Think about, that's tricky already. You got a pack, now your weight's all out of proportion to what you're normally used to, right? If you're a climber, and this thing's pushing you different directions, the boots and the rifle flapping around. That's always the killer. So if you don't strap that thing tight to your chest, things that hit you in the face, hit you in the groin, get you every which way. So if you guys want me to continue with the Nordic Recon program, let me know. Let's see if we can get Magnus to 1 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.